Could the global economy be on the brink of a trade war? It's a question that has been looming large as tensions rise between economic powerhouses. At the heart of this potential conflict lies a complex web of tariffs, retaliatory measures, and geopolitical maneuvering. The United States and Canada, traditionally close allies, have found themselves increasingly at odds with China over trade practices. This standoff has far-reaching implications, not only for the countries involved, but for the global economy as a whole. The situation is fluid, with no clear winners or losers in sight. What is certain is that the stakes are high, and the outcome of this economic standoff will have a profound impact on the shape of the global order for years to come. As we delve into the intricacies of this trade war, it's essential to understand the motivations of the key players and the potential consequences of their actions.
I feel nauseous, believe me.
The United States, under the leadership of President Biden, has taken a hard line against what it perceives as unfair trade practices by China. The US argues that China has engaged in intellectual property theft, forced technology transfers, and currency manipulation, giving it an unfair advantage in the global marketplace. To counter these perceived threats, the US has imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods, targeting sectors such as electronics, machinery, and consumer products. These tariffs are essentially taxes on imported goods, making Chinese products more expensive for American consumers and businesses. The Trump administration initiated these tariffs, and the Biden administration has largely maintained them, signaling a continuation of the tough stance on China. The goal, according to the US, is to protect American jobs and industries from unfair competition and to pressure China to adopt more equitable trade practices. Canada, traditionally known for its more conciliatory approach to international relations, has joined the US in imposing tariffs on Chinese goods. While Canada's actions are less extensive than those of the US, they represent a significant shift in its trade policy. Canada's decision to align with the US on this issue stems from a variety of factors, including shared concerns about China's trade practices and a desire to present a united front. However, Canada's participation in this trade war is not without its complexities. China is Canada's second-largest trading partner after the US, and the tariffs have the potential to disrupt supply chains and increase costs for Canadian businesses and consumers. The Canadian government has attempted to strike a delicate balance, imposing tariffs while also engaging in diplomatic efforts to resolve the underlying trade disputes with China. The tariffs imposed by the US and Canada have had a tangible impact on the Chinese economy. China's export-oriented growth model has been challenged, as the tariffs have made its products less competitive in key markets. The Chinese government has acknowledged the negative effects of the tariffs, reporting a slowdown in economic growth and job losses in sectors heavily reliant on exports to the US and Canada. The Chinese government has responded to the tariffs with a combination of retaliatory measures and attempts to mitigate the economic damage. China has imposed its tariffs on a range of US and Canadian goods, targeting sectors such as agriculture and automobiles. These retaliatory tariffs are designed to inflict economic pain on industries that are politically sensitive in the US and Canada, putting pressure on the governments to reconsider their policies. Section 5. Retaliation and Ripples. The trade war has created a climate of uncertainty and volatility in the global economy. Businesses in China, the United States, and Canada are grappling with disrupted supply chains, fluctuating prices, and the threat of further escalation. The tariffs have also had ripple effects beyond the countries directly involved. Countries that are heavily integrated into global supply chains, such as those in Southeast Asia and Europe, are feeling the pressure as businesses adjust their sourcing and production strategies. The International Monetary Fund has warned that the trade war could lead to a slowdown in global economic growth and increased financial instability. The interconnected nature of the global economy means that economic shocks in one part of the world can quickly reverberate across borders, impacting businesses and consumers far beyond the initial point of impact. Section 6. The Consumer Conundrum. While the trade war is primarily a battle between governments and businesses, consumers in the United States, Canada, and China are also feeling the pinch. The tariffs have led to higher prices for a wide range of goods, from everyday essentials to big-ticket items. In the United States, consumers are paying more for appliances, electronics, and clothing, while in Canada, the prices of groceries, automobiles, and building materials have increased. Chinese consumers are facing higher prices for imported goods, such as agricultural products, automobiles, and luxury goods. The tariffs have also impacted consumers indirectly as businesses have passed on some of the increased costs through higher prices for goods and services. The trade war has thus contributed to inflationary pressures in all three countries, eroding consumer purchasing power and potentially slowing economic growth. Section 7. Business on the brink. The trade war has placed businesses in a precarious position, forcing them to navigate a complex and unpredictable landscape. In the United States, businesses that rely on imported components from China have seen their production costs rise, cutting into their profit margins. Some companies have attempted to absorb these costs, while others have been forced to pass them on to consumers through higher prices. Canadian businesses, particularly those in the manufacturing and agricultural sectors, have been hit by both Chinese retaliatory tariffs and the disruption of supply chains. Chinese businesses that export to the United States and Canada have also been affected, as the tariffs have made their products less competitive. The trade war has thus created an environment of uncertainty and risk aversion, leading businesses to delay investment and hiring decisions. Section 8. The EU's Balancing Act. The trade war between the US, Canada, and China has presented challenges and opportunities for the EU. The EU shares some concerns with the US and Canada about China's trade practices. The EU has grievances with China, including intellectual property and market access issues. However, the EU is wary of a trade war damaging its economy. The EU seeks a middle course, engaging with both the US and China while strengthening its trade defenses. This balancing act reflects the complex geopolitical realities of the 21st century. Section 9. A New World Order. The trade war between the US, Canada, and China is more than just a dispute over tariffs. It reflects a broader shift in the global balance of power. The US faces increasing competition from China, which has experienced rapid economic growth. This shift has created tensions and uncertainties in the 21st century. The trade war is both a symptom and a driver of these tensions. The outcome will shape the future of the global order for decades to come. Section 10. The stakes are high. The stakes in this trade war are undeniably high. The economic well-being of millions of people is on the line, as are the geopolitical relationships that underpin the global order. The tariffs imposed by the US and Canada have had a tangible impact on the Chinese economy, slowing growth and leading to job losses. The retaliatory tariffs imposed by China have also hurt businesses and consumers in the US and Canada, driving up prices and disrupting supply chains. The interconnected nature of the global economy means that the effects of this trade war are being felt far beyond the countries directly involved. The IMF has warned that a prolonged trade war could lead to a global recession, with devastating consequences for businesses and individuals around the world. The uncertainty generated by the trade war is also harming business confidence, leading to delays in investment and hiring decisions. Section 11. A future uncertain. As the trade war between the US, Canada, and China continues, the future remains uncertain. Will the countries involved find a way to resolve their differences and reach a mutually beneficial agreement? Or will the trade war escalate further, leading to a full-blown global trade war with devastating consequences for the global economy? The answers to these questions will depend on a complex interplay of economic, political, and geopolitical factors. One thing is certain. The outcome of this trade war will have profound implications for the shape of the global order for years to come. It will determine the rules of trade, the flow of investment, and the balance of power in the 21st century. As the world watches and waits, the stakes have never been higher. Can diplomacy and cooperation prevail over protectionism and conflict? Only time will tell. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.